الحمد لله رب العالمين وصلي وسلم على نبينا محمد وعلى أهله وصحبه أجمعين. Al-Masjid Al-Aqsa, the path to freedom in accordance with the Quran and Sunnah and the understanding of the Salafus Saleh. Riots, strikes, demonstrations, and revolution. Of the erroneous actions that we find in many of the contemporary Islamic groups, Jamaatul Islamiyah, is that they at times will set up occupation sit-in, off and demonstration in mosques, street public squares, or in a or government buildings. They may also go on strike and wage a hunger strike for days on end. They seek with these disastrous actions leverage against the ruler of the land, seeking to weaken him and possibly have him give into their demands regarding a particular issue. Other times they will turn to anarchist, civil uprising and rioting. They set out on a rampage fighting those who contest them, breaking into stores, overturning cars and wreaking havoc, thinking that with this action they are furthering the cause of Islam. They are completely oblivious to the fact that this erroneous action is in fact detrimental to Muslims and only infiltrate those who they are protesting against, causing them to retaliate against the general body of the Muslims. They fail to understand that their actions hinder the da'wah to Allah and cause greater fasad, corruption, and harm. As Sheikh Allah Abdulaziz bin Baz rahimahullah was asked, are the street demonstrations attended by both men and women, which are held in the protest of the ruling authority and the leaders of a correct avenue of da'wah, and if one of the demonstrators is killed in this protest, is he considered a martyr in the path of Allah? As Sheikh rahimahullah answered, I do not see the publicity of the street demonstration involving men and women as a cure for anything. On the contrary, it is one of the reasons of fitna, evil and its oppression and transgression of one people against another without right. The legislative means of addressing the Muslim authority is through written statement and nasiyah, da'wah, calling them to goodness using the proper avenues. That is the way of the people of knowledge. That is the way of the companions of Muhammad and those who follow them in righteousness. The proper way is the written statement, dialogue between those who find fault and the leader, communicating directly with him, advising him, and writing to him without openly broadcasting his shortcomings on the pulpit or other public avenues. Wallahu musta'an, either lands are sought from Allah alone. The Faqih of our era, Sheikh Muhammad bin Salih Al-Uthaymeen rahimahullah, was asked, what is the ruling regarding protesting by holding a general strike from all work activity in a Muslim country in hopes of bringing an end to the secularist governance system of that particular country? Rahimahullah responded by saying, whether to adopt this question entails a great deal of peril if its answer is not understood correctly. In the hope of guiding the Muslim youth, the issue of striking from work, private or public sector, has no basis to subsist its validity in a Sharia. Undoubtedly, it will involve a lot of harm that will be relative to the length, need of the services and scale of the strike, and this certainly is used as a pressure tactic against the government. In the question, it is implied that this tactic is to be used to bring an end to secular rule in a Muslim country. We must first preach that the governing is a secular form of government. If it is actually that it is a secularist government, then we make it known that going out against the governing authority is unlawful unless certain prerequisite conditions are met. The Sheikh rahimahullah was also asked, when the strike has neared its end, the organizer put forth their demands. When the demands are not met, it permitted for them and their followers to face the authority with the civil revolution. He rahimahullah responded, I do not see the possibility of civil revolution in this instance. The material strength is possessed by the authority as is commonly known, while the protesters have a little in their hands besides the kitchen knives and sticks, which are insignificant when compared to the tanks and weapons of the authority. Yet it is conceivable that such a situation will take place if the proper shurut, prerequisite conditions are met. We are not to hurry the matter. Any country that has lived long years and occupation cannot be transferred between a day and a night into a truly Islamic country. We must take in a deep breath to attain our objectives. If a person builds a home, he has laid a fundamental root for himself, regardless of whether he will eventually reside in the home or repart the worldly life of having never lived in it. He has accomplished something. What's important is that we set the stage for Islam and ensure its strength, even if we do not harvest the reward of that action for many years. I do not see the possibility of impulsiveness in these types of issues or in civil revolution exercises that are mostly without substance. If a division of the army destroys a block, the next one recants their previous stance. He was then asked, Rahimullah, He was then asked Rahimullah, along with the general work strike, these groups of youth will also take over a place and perform a sit-in, wherever they will take over government position and remain fortified in a day and night. What is the ruling on this? Does it have any foundation in the religious law? Here Rahimullah is adopted this is used as a pressure tactic against the government, and it is an action that is imported into the Muslim lands. As far as I know, it is known that the means of action are relative to the intention, are judged by the intention if the action is not prohibited. The takeover that you have discussed carries the same ruling that we have just presently discussed with you regarding the general strike from work.